What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Rawstocks. It's Rustik. I know it's been a while, but here we are. Here I am. A little bit of a hiatus from making some video content as we've been working on building the Discord, bringing some additional analysts on, working on writing some codes for some bots and some other things. So a lot of things in development, but I'm going to get back to doing some YouTube content, at least at least a couple times a week. Be looking to do like the weekend update, be looking to do like maybe one or two daily updates throughout the week. And we also got one of our analysts making some content as well. So look forward to that being posted on the YouTube channel also throughout the week. Let's go ahead and jump into the charts. We're just going to look at Tesla today. We got daily chart pulled up. I know there's been a lot of interest in the server on whether Tesla's a good buy or whether Tesla's something we want to get back into, as we've just seen this aggressive selling. You know, I said when we got near the top, I said 500 is probably not going to hit. Too many people are screaming 500. Sure enough, we didn't quite get there. And then we never pushed back up even to take that old high officially 488.54. Let's take a look at the daily though. And on the daily, you can see as we've sold down, we have this order block, this high time frame order block of support on the daily chart. And that order block comes in at 203.86 and it ends at 191.63, give or take a little bit. And then we also have this liquidity level down here at 212.60 or so. But what I want to note is that this volume imbalance that we found in this daily gap has been filled, right? Essentially, we've come down into that gap. We've filled the whole thing, starting to see some relief. Ultimately, I want to see us bounce out of here. And where would that likely be? Let's just take a look. So again, on the daily time frame, just look at some fib levels here. Got our, we'll go with like a traditional one on this one. And we can see here, here's our golden pocket. We're back up in premium price. Once we get up above the 50% of the equilibrium, we'll be looking for prices to come at least into the 61.8. Let's get that opened up and change the colors on these though. Make them white so that you guys can see them better. There we go. So we got this 786 right here up at 431. We got the 618 at 385 and some change. We got equilibrium at 353.25. And so we will be looking for prices to kind of make that move back up towards one of these fib levels. Some other things going on the daily chart that we want to look at is we have this down close candle. It was a daily candle and we haven't got above the opening price there. So that's the first thing I want to see is I want to see price move back off of this open price from there. At that point in time, we can say that there is a change in the state of delivery, right? And that we're above this breakdown candle. Right now, we're just soaking up the liquidity in it. But once we close above this level, 250, 265, give or take, there's volume imbalance in here, but we can start to see that move up. This could just be rejection, drawing on liquidity, and then we could see a move back down towards this low or into this order block. So a lot's going to be on the line as far as there's our range of that candle. As far as, you know, what happens next week. If we start trading back down, then we'll know that we're still looking for this level to break, but we have these liquidity targets down below. Let's go ahead and drop into, actually, we're going to stay on this chart just for a minute. I'm going to see if there's any trend lines that we can go ahead and take a look at. You know, these are kind of like all-time trend line here. We'll have that on our chart, right? We actually can connect these two highs as well. It kind of gives us, not a perfect, but it does give us a little bit of a channel there. Okay, and then what we can do is also take this most recent low and this swing low right here, and then we get a little bit more aggressive trend there, right? Previously, we've also seen this trend break. We saw that break a while ago. And so that, that's still, we can still have that on our chart if we want. If we started falling, that could be a back test. If we broke this support trend, this descending trend that had already been broken, we could come back down and test that. Again, that's in this order block. Maybe hit that trend, see if it offers support. And then below that, we have this trend line. Now, breaking all of those, anywhere below, I don't know, 161, 170, depending on how quickly we were to get down there. If we were to do that, then we'd be looking at targeting the $100 low, basically. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think this is going to hold for support right now. And I think we're going to start to see that move up, and then we'll see that move up. And then when we come back down, if we do, I think this trend is going to hold us. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one off for now because we do have an order block there that should support. And so I'll be watching that. We drop into 4-hour time frame. We see there's another support level right here. We'll go ahead and mark that off as well. 4-hour resistance on that order block. Again, here's our trend support. And then if you look at like the 4-hour bearish trend resistance, right? We could connect those highs. We could connect this high. Either way, it's been, low resistance liquidity on that. So I'll extend that out so it'll give us our triangle. We'll be watching that as well. So break out of that. Let's go ahead and look at that the fib levels again. So you can see we wouldn't even be getting back to equilibrium if we came up and popped up to that resistance line. And so potentially we get held up at this 0.382 on that move back up, hit that resistance, cycle back down, and then potentially break it as we come to this apex of this triangle pattern right here. So we'll be watching those closely on Tesla. So we have our resistance there, and then we could do like a really short-term trend here, see if it rides it up and gives us some support as we run back and test that descending resistance. We'll also go ahead and mark off right here. That'll give us another triangle pattern that we could be watching as a potential liquidity sweep, right? If we didn't get all the way up to the descending resistance. Go down to the 1-hour chart. See if there's any kind of structure that we want to be watching for. So you can see here, we sold down, popped back up. We didn't ever sweep this low. So that is something that's interesting to me, is that we didn't see that. We saw a higher low set up, same trend line. We got a little bit tighter here. So I'm going to do that on the 1-hour instead. There we go. Better captures those lows. We do have a bullish change of character here on the 1-hour time frame, so that is important to note that on our kind of medium term time frame. We have some, back on Tuesday, we had some bullish activity. We saw that pop up. We've seen that retracement back into this fair value gap here, and we held, popped up. Now we want to see these highs because we already swept that high right here, right? Swept that high. This level right here was that breakdown candle. So you can see on the 1-hour, we did take that, right? It showed on the higher time frame chart that we rejected it right at the level. But what we want to look at is that we have this gap or volume imbalance right here where price has not traded up into yet. So this is what we're going to target early next week, most likely. We don't want to see this trend give out. If this trend gives out, what we're going to be looking for, right? If we only swipe this high or we start trading down immediately, we'll be looking to take this low here at 232.42, right? Gather that liquidity. Could be that low right there. We'll see. And then make that move up. Okay, but we also could see that move happen out of the gate, right? Maybe something like this, up into that gap, maybe even a little bit higher, take out these, maybe some of these highs here, right? We'll see. And then we really want to just kind of like either blast off or walk this trend up, all the way to you know, potential resistance at 300. That'd be again that triangle resistance. Further up would be the descending resistance trend line, depending on how long it took to get there. Right, that could be anywhere from like 330 all the way down to like 320. But again, we got this liquidity level right here, 300, that we got to break first. Now, again, if that trend gives out immediately, we're targeting sell side levels, 232.79. Below that, 222.39. Below that, 213.98. Right, and then we have an ascending support trend that the price continues to get higher as we go on in our days ahead. So we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and drop in just to a 15 minute. 15 minute gives us some of our macro time frame levels that we're looking at. Again, we got that resistance. We got an order block up here and a fair value gap. Okay, so I'm going to just look at this 15-minute fair value gap here. I do want to know that that's on my chart, 260. And then right here, we got this order block that will offer resistance right around that 262 level we already had there. And then we got some macro time frame liquidity that, you know, could continue to get taken. Right now, we're just stacking fair value gaps. Okay, so from the Monday, March 10th low, we had a gap. We came and we basically filled that gap, but held this fair value gap open. Saw price go up, another fair value gap, right? Stacking fair value gaps. Saw a little bit of a cycle back down, left a gap here. We haven't fully closed it, but now we're stacking bullish fair value gaps again, right? So we just want to continue to see that pattern go until we hit this order block up in the 260s. Once it hits that, we might come back down and set a new low, or we might just continue to walk our way up through that. Some of the liquidity that we could be looking at, although it would break trend, so it would change, you know, our bias a little bit. We'll throw them on the chart, 233.44. We got a silver bullet level there, 240.76. We got this macro level, 246.52. That's kind of the level I would look to get held. This would be my pivot point for Monday at 247.47, give or take, would be where I'd be looking for, you know, potential. Actually, we'll go right here, 247.41. So below 247.41, I'd be looking to target 246.52. Then this trend line, right, potentially this fair value gap at 244.53. Below that, targeting 240.76, where there's liquidity that sits in a silver bullet macro that hasn't been taken yet. And then to the upside or buy side, above 251.59, I'd be targeting 252.50. And then I'd be targeting this high at 253.55. And then we have some macro levels that have not been taken as well above us. So we got 254.98. We got our previous week open, which is at 258, but we also have a liquidity level there at 258.16. And then 259.20 with that fair value gap consequent encroachment at 259.49. And then 262. And then we have our order block there. So there's our different levels that we'll be looking for. Again, our pivot point here. And I'll go ahead and mark that off just so you guys know. This is going to be my bear pivot. And then this is going to be my bull pivot. So above the bull pivot, we target buy side liquidity levels up above. Below the bear pivot, we target sell side liquidity. Right? And then again, if we pull back just to a higher time frame to make the chart look a little less messy, here is some of our near-term liquidity in these levels as we potentially push higher into Monday's session. Now, above that, again, we have our higher time frame targets. We have this level right here around 300, and that would kind of give us our sell side to buy side. Wouldn't be surprised if we rejected right here in this fair value gap somewhere. That'd give us our sell side to buy side. I don't know how. That still wouldn't give us a huge correction that would just give us like this internal move again. It would take above 300 to hit this resistance line, and then above that, we have this order block, and then if we got above both of those, we'd be looking for that greater wave retracement, which is going to put us, we want to see it somewhere in here. And I know that's a pretty wide range, so it doesn't really like, you know, I mean, that's 360 all the way to 430 basically, so like a $90 range. But if we broke this 300, we could be targeting like this 330, 340, right? Then up here at 360, then we're inside that kind of golden pocket, or that ideal area where we want to be looking for price to get to. And then we have some order blocks above. So if we get up to that point, we'll definitely be providing some additional updates. But right now, it's this support level. We can ride that up. We can pop above 300, expect resistance there, and then potentially try to break out of this trend line before making a move either down or seeing that continuation to the upside. Hopefully, this has been helpful for you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, join the Discord. Links are all in there. Link to Gamma Edge, which is our options data service that we use at Rawstocks. Links to the Discord, how to join as a free member. Links to the website. You can find more information about joining our premium Discord. And we'll see you guys on the next one. All right, take care and good luck trading tomorrow.